This might be one of my favorite things that we've done here on Kauai.
Tucked into Kauai's lush north shore is Limahuli Garden, where native forest meets ancient Hawaiian history. I came expecting a short walk and ended up staying for hours. Limahuli is a 1,000-acre preserve on the north shore of Kauai. There are almost 250 species of native plant and birds, and about 50 of them are on the verge of extinction, some of them found only in Limahuli. The self-guided trail twists and turns slightly uphill through the lands once cared for by early Hawaiians. I loved the sound of the stream and the smell of the tropical flowers as we walked along the path.
So we are at the Limahuli Botanical Gardens, the National Botanical Garden in the North Shore here on Kauai today, and it's super interesting. I have learned a lot. We're about halfway through and we're just hanging out over here by the Limahuli stream. The first section we passed through is the canoe plant, so that's all the plants that were introduced by the Polynesians. And then the second section that we just passed through was the plantation era plants, which is all the plants that you think that are from Hawaii, like mangoes and pineapples and hibiscus, which are not. Those were introduced by plantation workers, immigrants who'd come in the last 200 years and brought their favorite plants with them. Even the Hawaiian chili pepper are not from Hawaii. Unfortunately, a lot of the plants here in Hawaii and Kauai specifically are no longer here. During an era where there was a lot of cows, a lot of cattle grazing, a lot of the plants had been killed, and then many plants have been introduced, which just grow much faster and are more invasive. So they've taken over a lot of the land that native plants would grow on. For example, the mango tree creates a lot of shade, and that restricts some of the growth for endemic plants here. I was learning the difference between a native species and an endemic species, because I feel like I often use these words interchangeably, but the native plants and the native species are the ones that reached Kauai or the Hawaiian Islands by wind and water or wings, like a bird flew over and then pooped a seed and then planted them. And then the endemic ones are the ones that evolved in Hawaii from the indigenous species, but they're native to only Hawaii. So that would be like if a bird had pooped a seed for, let's say, for example, a fern, and then if the fern evolved into a different type of fern, that would be an endemic plant, and that's like endemic only to Hawaii. And like something like 90% of the endemic plants here in Hawaii are only found on the Hawaiian Islands. At least so some of the hibiscus is native to this area. This one was discovered in 1913. It's the white hibiscus, and it was thought to be extinct until they rediscovered it in this preserve in 1976. We're walking in the Healthy Hawaiian Forest section, where they have replanted a bunch of native Hawaiian plants and then removed a lot of the top cover so that the sun can hit those plants. Some of these plants are really endangered and there's only like one left in the wild, that kind of thing, or 50 in all of Hawaii now.
I loved how the guidebook included local legends. There was 2 abbreviated stories of the specific valley and its people. Reading the stories while standing among the same stones and looking at the same view made the place really feel alive. What surprised me the most was how engaging it was. We wandered slowly, noticing leaves, taking pictures, reading the stories, and listening to the sound of the water.
This is one of the best days. I mean, we're having perfect weather and this is amazing and I love plants. But the trail is nice to walk on. It's really informative. The views are beautiful. This is so nice. So far this has been an amazing experience. It's been really interesting. I think if you're looking for something to do, I have really enjoyed this one. And I would still say it falls into the category of an easy trail. It's paved, well marked, easy to access. Look, this area even has handlebars.
In comparison to McBride and Allerton Garden in the south, where the focus is more on landscaping and design, I felt Limahuli was focused on Hawaiian native and indigenous plants, invasive species, and traditional Hawaiian land use. I loved it so much we ended up staying for 2.5 hours, walking and enjoying the environment, plants, and the moments. The booklet they give you for the self-guided tour has so much information that it helps you make a connection to the environment. They offer guided and unguided walking tours that you can book on their website. Having experienced it, I felt like the prices were worth it, knowing that it helps keep the preserve open and protects living treasures so they don't disappear. If you're on Kauai's North Shore and want a deeper connection to the island's past and native plants, Limahuli is definitely worth visiting.